Good morning, students. So, in earlier class, we derived the most economical power factor when kilowatt demand is constant, and the most economical power factor when kVA demand is constant. And today, we are going to be discuss the capacitive compensation for power factor control. So, already we know well familiarly, capacitor compensation is one of the technique to enhance the power factor. So let us see how the power factor is improved with help of the capacitive compensation techniques. Let us see the first one, effect of shunt capacitors. Shunt capacitors are also known as the fixed capacitors. You see here, this is a line having a source voltage as well as load voltage. So the power is transferred from source to the load. So due to the length, the impedance of the system is to be considered into account. Yes. So at that time, the corresponding power factor, the corresponding phasor diagram, the receiving end voltage and the lagging current is in generally the load power factor is lagging. So the lagging current and the angle between the voltage and current is pi, that is the power factor angle. And based upon this current, the magnitude of resistive drop, inductive drop, and impedance drop has to be drawn. And the receiving end voltage plus the drop of the section will give the sending end voltage. So this is the generalized circuit diagram along with its phasor diagram. So for analyze the effect of shunt capacitor, a shunt capacitor is connected across the load or towards the receiving end. So what changes has to be expected from the existing circuit to the new circuit? When a capacitor connected in the line, connected across the line or across the load, so some current is diverted through the capacitor. So therefore, the load current has to be reduced or not? Definitely the load current is to be reduced. Yes. So this has to be represented with the help of a phasor diagram. See the receiving end voltage, the original lagging current. And due to the capacitor installation, it consumes some current, which is the leading in nature. So the resultant current is the new current, which is I dash. Why? Because this is in lagging nature, this is in leading nature, this is in lagging nature. So the net resultant current is the slightly lagging also, but the angle between voltage and current will be drastically reduced. So you can represent the drop, resistive drop as usually, inductive drop, reactance drop as usually, and impedance drop. And the receiving end voltage plus the drop of the section will give the sending end voltage. So here the power factor angle is changed from pi 1 to pi 2. So the changes or observations we made in the circuit 1 to circuit 2 is a shunt capacitor which is connected across the load and whose modifications or changes also observed here. So voltage phasor diagrams for feeder circuit of lagging power factor A and C without and B and D with shunt capacitors. So it is very clear. Original circuit is a phasor diagram and capacitor connected circuit and its phasor diagram. So let us analyze the effect of these shunt capacitors on the system. Yes. Shunt capacitors, that is capacitors connected in parallel with the lines as shown. Yes, this is the capacitor connected in the line as shown. It supplies the type of reactive power or current to counteract the out of phase component of current required by an inductive load. Yes. So what it does? It produces a current which is counteract with the out of phase component of current required by an inductive load. Therefore, shunt capacitor has the same effect as an overexcited synchronous condenser or generators or motors. So the voltage drop in feeders with lagging power factor can be approximated as voltage drop is resistive drop plus reactive drop, IR into R plus IX into XL. This is the equation 1. When capacitor is installed at the receiving end of the line, the approximate voltage drop has to be changed. Voltage drop is equal to IR into R plus IX into XL minus IC into XC. This is the equation number 1. This is the equation number 2. Therefore, subtracting equation 1 from 2, the voltage rise will be automatically arises. The voltage rise due to the installation of capacitors can be expressed as voltage rise VR is equal to IC into XC. So this voltage rise automatically increases the reactive power so that the power factor is to be compensated. So let us analyze the capacitor installation types. So these fixed capacitors, how it is to be connected into the system. So in general, capacitors installed on the feeders are pole top banks. Pole top banks means at the middle of the pole, some arrangement is to be provided, and on that arrangement, the capacitors are to be installed with the necessary group using. The maximum sizes used are about 1800 kVAr at 15 kV and 3600 kVAr at higher voltage levels. Utilities install 4 capacitor banks on each feeder. Utilities distribution system install 4 capacitor banks on each feeder. So let us consider a feeder for analysis purpose. So this is the substation where the feeder is commenced and supplying a load which is uniformly distributed throughout the length of the line. Yes. So at the point on the feeder A fixed capacitor is connected, and let us analyze the nature of this fixed capacitor. See here, this is the maximum allowable voltage limit, this is the minimum allowable voltage limit, and this is the rated voltage. Yes. So this is a plot between primary voltage versus feeder length. Primary voltage versus feeder length. So what effect you are considering here? Effect of a fixed capacitor on the voltage profile at heavy load condition. So loads are continuously changing. Heavy load, light load, like this. So a fixed capacitor is permanently connected to the line. During the heavy load condition, this is the without capacitor, the voltage profile decreases beyond the minimum allowable limit. So whenever you are connecting a capacitor at the load end, the voltage profile has to be reached to the within the permissible values of maximum as well as minimum allowable limits. So during the heavy load condition, the capacitor is connected permanently will satisfy our operation so that the voltage profile is existing in between the maximum as well as minimum allowable voltage limit. There is no problem. Yes. So the same nature of this fixed capacitor can be concentrated on during light load condition. What can you observe? So let us see. During light load condition, see here the line carries a fixed capacitor. Without capacitor, this is the original voltage profile. Without capacitor, this is the original voltage profile. As usually, maximum allowable voltage limit, minimum allowable voltage limit, and rated voltage. This is also primary voltage versus feeder length. but the effect of fixed capacitor on voltage profile at light load condition. So the capacitor is permanently connected into the line, and that too the load is light. Due to excessive reactive power, the voltage profile exceeds the maximum allowable voltage limit C during during heavy load condition, it is in this particular phase, so it is suitable. But during light load condition, this voltage profile goes to beyond maximum allowable voltage limit, so that excessive voltages will be arises in the line. This may be damage the appliances of the consumer side. So therefore, fixed capacitor permanently connected in the line is not good. Capacitor which is connected in the line should supply reactive power according to the load variation. Suppose if fixed capacitor permanently connected to the line, this will supply a fixed kVAR into the system, so that irrespective of load variation, it is to be considered. But with the load variation, the fixed capacitor is not feasible, not economical. So what can you do? We connect some capacitors are fixed capacitors and some capacitors are loaded capacitors. Yes. So let us see. If the fixed capacitors are installed, the utility will experience an excessive leading power and voltage rise at the feeder. Yes, if fixed capacitors are installed, the utility will experience an excessive leading power and voltage rise at the feeder. So therefore, some of the capacitors installed as a switched capacitor banks, so that they can be switched off during light load conditions. Thus, the fixed capacitors are sized. Thus, the fixed capacitors are sized for light load and connected permanently. The switched capacitors can be switched as a block or in several consecutive steps as the reactive load becomes greater from light load level to peak load and sized accordingly as shown. Yes, you observe here, load is continuously varying from light load to peak load condition. So we are connecting the capacitors, we are sizing the capacitors in such a manner that two types of capacitors are installed in the system. One is the fixed capacitors, another one is the switched capacitors. So fixed capacitors are the capacitors which are permanently connected to the line, whereas switched capacitors are the capacitors which are connected and removed according to the load variation. Should remember this point, students. So for example, under one particular feeder, the light load is 600 kVA, 600, this is the reactive power, load duration curve from reactive power side, reactive power in kVAR in terms of the time. So if a feeder load is, for example, 600 kVA is the light load, and 2000 is the peak load. So therefore, we are connecting the fixed capacitors in such a way that these capacitors are proportional to the light load condition. Proportional to the light load condition. Whereas once the load exceeds the light load and goes into peak load, towards the peak load, the switched capacitors are switched on in such a way that with a consecutive step manner, where the maximum load is required. At that time, the maximum capacitor banks are to be switched off. When the load is reduced, the capacitor banks are to be switched off instantaneously. Yes. So this figure represents the sizing of the fixed and switched capacitors to meet the daily reactive power demand. Yes. Sizing of the fixed and switched capacitors to meet the daily reactive power demand. So this is called the reactive load duration curve. This is called the reactive reactive load duration curve and is the cumulative sum of the reactive loads. Many utilities apply the following rule of thumb to determine the size of the capacitor is, see, kVAR from switched plus fixed capacitors. kVAR from switched plus fixed capacitor divided by kVAR of peak reactive feeder load is greater than or equal to 0.70. From the voltage regulation point of view, the size of each capacitor bank at each location should have the same proportion, that is kVAR of load center by kVAR of total feeder is equal to kVA of load center by kVA of total load. Is the resultant percentage voltage rise can be calculated from voltage drop. Percentage voltage rise is equal to QC 3-phase into L divided by 10 V square line to line percentage in volts. So where QC 3-phase is the 3-phase reactive power due to fixed capacitors, and this is not into, it is the X. QC 3-phase XL. X is the line reactance ohms per mile. L is the length of the feeder in mile. Therefore, the percentage of voltage rise can be also found from percentage of voltage rise is equal to IC into X into L by V line to line percentage of voltage, percentage in volts, where IC is the QC 3-phase divided by root 3 V line to line ampere. And the percentage voltage rise is already determined. The maximum value of fixed capacitors can be determined from maximum value of QC 3-phase is equal to 10 into, from this equation, 10 into percentage of voltage rise V square line to line by XL kVAR. Therefore, the total voltage rise can be calculated as total percentage of voltage rise, which is equal to percentage voltage rise of new switched, non-switched capacitor. That means that fixed capacitors. Percentage voltage rise of non-switched capacitors plus percentage voltage rise of switched capacitors. So both will be considered into account, and the voltage rise has to be considered. Is so what this topic? What is this topic? This is the capacitor installation types. So fixed capacitor does not meet the load variation. So that what can you do? So along with the some fixed capacitors are connected in such a way that it will able to withstand up to light load, and beyond that the fixed capacitors, instead of fixed capacitors by switched capacitors are connected. Switched capacitors are connected in such a way that those will vary according to the load variation. Okay, thank you. In next class we are going to be discuss how the power factor correction. So thank you, Ananda.